All right, Philodo Forester update here. Oh man, I can't flip the bike on to tell you how many miles I have. The battery's not on it. I think it's about 230. So, update for the bike. So, stuff I've learned. I've actually learned quite a few important things that I feel like could potentially help somebody that's in the same position as me, a bike novice. Whenever I say novice, I mean novice. Like, this is my toolbox for working on cars. That's my toolbox for working on cars. I would say that I'm decent with cars. However, this is not a car. In fact, it's got two wheels. And so I don't know anything about it. I think I've said that before. But, so, stuff that I've learned. I made a short a while ago about death wobble over 20 miles an hour with the front wheel. So there was two separate things causing that. The first thing, which was the thing that was causing it during the video that I posted, was that the safety washer on the front wheels, I didn't know anything about it. And so I put it on the outside of the fork. So let's get a little closer view here. So you can actually see it right there. Yeah, the little washer right there. It has a little dowel pin in it to go into the hole here for the fork. And then there's another washer behind this nut here. But I put the safety washer on the wrong side, and that caused quite a bit of issue. It was causing brake drag, it was causing death wobble. After I fixed that, the death wobble went away. However, the death wobble did come back, and the reason was different. And so the reason now is because I don't know if the bent spoke has anything to do with it, but I know for sure that my spokes are loose. And so I need to tighten my spokes. I actually have a spoke tightening tool coming in the mail tomorrow. Like I said, I'm learning a lot of stuff here. I literally bought a spoke tightening kit today. However, if you want to know what loose spokes sound like, this is what they sound like. Obviously, I'm squeezing these, so they're going to make noise. But this noise will happen whenever you're just going down the road. It'll just keep going. The spokes are just like screaming at you. So that's the second reason for death wobble. Now, was that part of the problem the first time? Probably not, because it wasn't an issue until like yesterday or the day before. Let's see, other stuff that I've learned. Loctite the spoke nipples, I believe is what they're called. That's the threads at the end. They take 222 Loctite. It's Loctite, the purple stuff, according to Google. I don't know anything about bicycles, like I said. I'm used to cars, so I'm used to like just slapping some red Loctite on it. Anyway, so the next thing that I learned, let's see, I haven't been riding this thing too much recently. In the last few days, I had a car accident happen with me involved a couple days ago, literally in front of my house. Speaking of which, the cops in this country, man, I'm white, all right? And like, it doesn't fucking matter what color you are. All it matters is how much money you have. And whenever the cop seen that I was driving a shitbox, he was like, "Oh yeah, you're at fault." And I'm like, dude, literally, I'm just pulling in and out of my driveway. Like, if I can't pull in and out of my driveway without somebody T-boning me, like, it's a whole situation. They were behind me. They should have stopped. They basically just rear-ended me because I was stopping to pull into my driveway. Anyway, that's beside the point. Not this video. So, my point with that is I haven't been riding it very much. So I'm only at like 230 miles, which isn't very much considering that I put 100 miles on it within like the first 2 weeks. So anyway, stuff that I've learned. Back to the video. So this derailleur guard down here, I learned that yes, in fact, it was bent. It was bent severely too. I could tell that the derailleur guard, which is this piece here, was touching the derailleur, which is this piece here. However, I didn't realize just how much it was touching it. It was touching it so much that I'm pretty sure that I was only getting like 3 gears on this 7-speed, by the way. So I was only getting 3 gears. So now that I have bent that to where it should be, or at least near where it should be, I'm not a bicycle mechanic. All I know is that it's out of the way enough that I can shift into all the gears. Speaking of which, if you do not know how to make adjustments to fix gear shifting issues, what you do is, or what you do if you're me and have mechanic tools but no bicycle tools, is you get yourself a jack stand and put it underneath the control box here and make sure the rear wheel is off the ground. Then you hand cycle the bike. And as you're hand cycling the bike, you come back here to the derailleur. Right here's your derailleur. And on the end of it here is this little thumb screw. So what you're going to do, and like I said, I'm not a bicycle mechanic. I've only done this one time in my entire life. All of the whole entire life that I've been alive, I've done it one single time. So take this with a grain of salt. Anyway, so you turn this little thumb screw here until it starts shifting right, and then you're good. So what I noticed is that as you tighten it, it'll become, let's see, I think it shifts down the cassette this way easier, but it won't shift back up. And so I think what I did is I tightened it up until it shifted all the way down, no problem. And then I tried to shift back up and it wouldn't work. So I had to loosen it until it did shift back up. Then I loosened it until it shifted back up without complaining about it, making a bunch of crunchy noises and stuff. So that's what I did. And I'm telling you, fixing that derailleur guard and that cable, like getting it into adjustment, like it's like, oops, Jesus Christ. Sorry, that was loud as shit. Fucking toolbox from like 1802. So let me tell you, after making those two adjustments to the derailleur, it's like riding a different bicycle, like completely different. I'm able to just pedal this bike into its top speed. I can pedal this bike at like 37, 38 miles an hour. And I could probably pedal it a little bit faster than that too. I could probably pedal it up to like 41, 42, maybe like 44 miles an hour comfortably. I don't know because I haven't reached those speeds. Shit, I forgot to check the top speed. It wasn't higher than normal. Not that I remember, at least. I guess if it is higher than it was before I made those fixes, I will be posting a short about it. But I did go for about a mile and a half ride after fixing those issues, and I don't recall seeing a higher top speed than I used to. However, I was having a lot more fun than usual because I was able to actually pedal this thing at its top speed. So I was in it to win it and not really paying attention to how fast I was going. I didn't even wear a helmet. First time in 230 miles, I did not wear a helmet. Oh, this toolbox is going to be the bane of my existence. I just got to like stand still. So other than that, the things that I've learned about this bike. Oh, there's another thing too. I completely forgot about this. So the issues that I've had with this bike so far, as I continue to not stand still, the issues that I've had with this bike so far, let's see. I think at 140 miles, the front motor gears started making noise. I still need to contact Philodo about that. I'm so busy with life and work and enjoying this thing that like I haven't taken the time out of my day to do that, and I totally need to. Let's see, at 200 miles, I dropped the chain for the first time. Now, knowing what I know now, I can tell you that the chain drops was just due to my lack of knowledge and not knowing that that derailleur guard needed to get fixed. I'm almost 100% sure that's the issue because basically the derailleur was still trying to shift gears down here, but it like couldn't. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a bicycle mechanic. All I know is that I'm almost 100% sure that I will not drop the chain again. However, oh man, I can't really show you because the bike is off and the battery's not here. You'll just have to take my word for it. So, when applying the brakes, you can apply it just like that much. And it's not actually moving the brake pads, but you apply it like about that much. And exclamation point comes up on the screen, which is letting you know that the motors no longer have power applied to them. And the rear brake works the same way, or at least it did work the same way. I think it was like yesterday that I realized, or maybe today, I don't know. I have multiple personality disorder, so like my memories are kind of fucked. Anyway, some point in this last week, I noticed that the rear brakes specifically, whenever they were applied, it was not doing the same thing. There was no exclamation point, and I don't know what happened to cause this to be an issue. However, if you apply the brakes fully, like you're actually locking the rear wheel up, it does still bring the exclamation point on here, which tells me that there's likely just something out of adjustment that I just need to like learn about. I don't really know. So if anybody does know, that would be awesome, because the rear brake is extremely useful for like low speed maneuvering. So like if you're in a parking lot, for example, you're probably going to be in pedal assist 5 because presumably you are just riding through town. And who wants to go down to pedal assist 0 every time you're in a parking lot when instead you could just drag the rear brake slightly? So that's what I do. I drag the rear brake, and so it's a pretty big issue for me, actually. Especially whenever I go to end my ride, because I come up into my driveway, and as soon as I get in my driveway, I go ahead and shift down to first gear. And so I apply the brakes slightly, so that way I can pedal the bike to get it to shift all the way into first. And then the bike starts accelerating in PAS 5. And so all of a sudden I'm going full blast in my driveway towards my parked cars, and it's just not a good day. It's not a good day whatsoever. So I need to get that fixed. I've got to contact Philodo and figure it out. Other than that, though, oh, something I noticed too that I might as well go ahead and mention to everybody here, because I have been tire shopping like mad recently. Especially trying to find, trying to be ahead of the curve, trying to get some winter tires for this thing. I know summer hasn't even started yet, but I'm totally the one to be extra prepared. So anyway, my point is, I've kind of realized based off of this gap here that you are not going to be able to get a wider tire than what comes with the bike. So, I mean, just look at this gap here. Like I said, I'm not a bicycle mechanic, and I'm not very amazing with telling distance, but this looks to me like both sides of this tire combined is about a ½ inch of extra clearance. And I'm not going to chance it with 4.5 inch tires. I think that this clearance is enough for me to like be satisfied with this current width of tire. However, the front one, I think you could get away with extra wide tires. But I really, really doubt that you would be able to with this rear one. I mean, just look at that gap. It's just not very much at all. Like a 1/4 inch there. Yeah. Not something I want to chance. And in case if you were considering buying this bike and putting big tires on it, now you know why I would not recommend that. Other than that, though, this thing is solid. It's so much fun. And I can't recommend it enough. So I hope that you guys are having a better day than me. And goodbye.